What's good, y'all? We back with another video. Today we got 10, I said 10, top 10 haunting last words from celebrities that will make you cry. What? It might be some sentimental shit going on, but you finna see what you boy talking about. What's the last word they said before they, you know what I'm saying, they went away. So we finna see what the boy talking about.
Got a nice fun one coming up, folks. Welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Taylor McWaters.
Taylor McWaters.
Haunting last words from celebrities that will make you cry. Kicking off the list at number 10, Sir Isaac Newton. All right, yeah, we'll start
Sir Isaac Newton.
In the early 1700s. Why not? Let's start crying back in the olden days. Sir Isaac Newton lived until he was 80, and back in the 1700s, living until you're 80, why, that's practically unheard of, right? That's insane. Newton started to experience digestion issues, but come 1727, he blacked out and never woke up again. The man died at 84. His last words were sad, of course, as are all of these on this very sad list that I'm doing, in a hopefully not sad way, but they go as follows. I don't know what I may seem to the world, but as to myself, I seem to have only been like a boy playing on the seashore and diverting myself now and then and finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than the ordinary, whilst the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me. What exactly that means? Let's all talk about it in the comments. Let's try
metaphysical.
There we go. Number 9, John F. Kennedy. A little more reasons, jumping to the 1960s. President John F. Kennedy was killed while riding in a motorcade. We all know this one, of course. I don't have to go into grim detail about what happened here. He was riding alongside his wife, of course. First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy.
Whole lot of conspiracies about how he died and all this other stuff.
And his wife Nellie.
Hey man,
they were all rolling along when
like his life, man. You're gonna die one day.
You can't say that the people of Dallas haven't given you a nice welcome. The president then said back, "No, I certainly can't." And just moments later, that's when he met his fate. Number 8, Alfred Hitchcock. This man went out with a zinger. Classic, what a classic drama queen. Alfred Hitchcock worked alongside famous painters and literary figures throughout history. He's an icon. He teamed up with Cary Grant, Jimmy Stewart, Dorothy Parker, you name it. In his 1945 film Spellbound, Alfred even brought on Salvador Dali, like the real Salvador Dali, to help him with the film's dream sequences, right? He had a vision. He knew what he was doing. He also terrified many people for years to come. It's also a fun one. Hitchcock is known for going great lengths to keep his endings a secret, like Psycho, for example, a 1960s classic. The ad department for the film told audiences to please not give away the ending, as it's the only one they have. That's fun, that's cute. Weirdly mirrors his last words in real life. As he was dying, Alfred said, "One never knows the ending. One has to die to know exactly what happens after death. Although Catholics have their hopes." That sounds very Alfred Hitchcocky. Number 7, Steve Jobs.
You do gotta die to know what happens.
So more modern. Hey. There we go. When I was making this list, I couldn't believe how long it's been since Steve Jobs has passed away. It's been a while. The tech icon's last moments were in 2011. He was surrounded with love. He had beside him his sister Patty, his children, and his partner Lorene. Steve looked above them and said, "Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow." He said "oh wow" 3 times. That's pretty heavy stuff to hear. Steve's last moments were shared furthermore when his sister wrote in his eulogy, "Even now he had a stern, still handsome profile, the profile of an absolutist, a romantic." Number 6, Nostradamus. I predict that you'll hit that thumbs up. That's inappropriate, but we try our best. The astrologer's last words were in itself predictions. And this last prediction, he sadly got right. Nostradamus, full name Michel de Notre Dame, published a book on prophecies back in 1555, and in it he had 942 pieces of writing. He had these poems that told the future, right? These texts have supposedly hinted towards the JFK attack, meteors hitting Earth, the invasion of France, global warming, you name it. He said some eerie things about such topics, and he also predicted his own death. On paper, he did. It was his last ever prediction. It was July 1st, 1566. His priest said to him, "Until tomorrow."
Give to me. But his ass is crazy.
And Nostradamus replied, "You will not find me alive at sunrise." Sadly, he was correct. Number 5, Beethoven.
So how did you know he was gonna die though? That's crazy.
The German composer Ludwig van Beethoven.
How do you know he was gonna die though?
We've recently heard his work in theaters. In Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange fights the villain with musical notes. He uses these notes. He uses Beethoven's Symphony No. 5 in C minor. Now we've heard Beethoven in IMAX, right? What a time to be alive. When Ludwig was still alive, he faced many health problems. Hepatitis, jaundice, skin diseases, cirrhosis of the liver, and of course, deafness.
That nigga a little scary, boy.
March 26, 1827,
like a demon.
The composer was believed to have said, "Applaud, my friends, the comedy is over." This is false. This is not true at all. Beethoven's close friend, Anselm Hüttenbrenner, who was very much present during his friend's passing, he said his last words were about the case of red wine that had just been delivered from his publisher. Ludwig's true last words followed, and they were, "Pity, pity, too late." About the wine. Fair. More than fair. It was a little too late.
Pity,
Number
pity,
4,
too late.
Marie Antoinette.
Don't be that
one,
bad. It's
but
not
I figured
that
I'd
bad.
go more Victorian for this list, you know? Instead of like recent celebrities, that's only depressing. We don't want to talk about those. During the height of the French Revolution, Louis XVI of France and Marie Antoinette were both charged with treason. The phrase, "let them eat cake," is often associated with Mrs. Antoinette in this case, but her last words were actually an apology. Not to the people in which they owed it to, but to the executioner whose foot she stepped on whilst approaching the guillotine. Yeah, shows like Game of Thrones make it look
Wow.
easy to say something cool right before your, demise. In reality, I would beg for my life. Looking up at this dude, yeah, I would plead. I'd be like, please don't do this. I really don't want this to happen. Number 3, Bob Marley.
Bro.
Of course, we have to
Bob
mention
Marley.
the one and only
Legend.
legend, Bob Marley, okay?
Legend.
Cancer was the reason that this icon met his fate early. The big C, once again.
I heard he was like,
36 years
he was
old when he
drugged
passed
too,
away
like.
in 1981.
That what I
Next to
heard.
him, he had
I
his
don't know
son
if that's
Ziggy,
true.
and to him, he shared the final words. And I think we could all learn a little something here. He said to Ziggy, "Money can't buy life." Yeah, I'll say that again. Money can't buy life. Not happiness, life. Bob Marley's death was so impactful that the Jamaican government turned this sad day into a national holiday. Yeah, that's a great idea. Live some more of that life. Take the day off. Blast some Marley and, you know the rest. Stuff I can't talk about, light some candles, right? That's an ideal way to mourn somebody as impactful as Bob Marley. I'm here for it. Number 2,
Man,
Giles
tell me
Corey.
that.
Out of 27 people who had their lives taken away from them during the 1692 Salem witch trials, 19 were hanged, 17 passed away in prison while serving their sentence, and the last victim, Giles Corey, refused to plead either innocent or guilty. And the law at the time states that you can't be tried otherwise. So he did what was ultimately best for him and his family and his estate. The townsfolk laid a heavy board on top of the 81-year-old man during the witch trials and all that nonsense. And then over the course of 2 days, boulders were slowly added, making the weight more and more unbearable. They were hoping that Giles would admit something, either being innocent or guilty, whatever the case. But every time they asked him anything, Giles responded with, "More weight." How epic is that? Extremely brave. This is something like, it sounds easy, but in reality, I would never do this. I would fold immediately.
Exactly,
I'd be like,
bro.
this is so hard. But sadly, after 2 days of this torture, Giles passed away. He fought for so long and did what he could, because if he had gone either of the other 2 ways, Giles would have his property taken away from the town. But since he passed away not admitting guilt, he was still in full possession of his estate, which immediately went to his son-in-law. And finally, number 1, Robin Williams. Okay, I wanted to end on one that really hit home for me personally.
Robin Williams. I forgot he passed away,
whenever
bro.
I can. It's like, cursed
I
dolls
forgot.
that haunt your family. I'm like, okay, I try and jazz it up a bit. I try and add some physicality to it whenever I can, brighten the mood. Because I was raised watching this man right here. Robin sadly passed away in August 2014. I was 19 at the time. I still remember the day, right? It was the first celebrity death that actually did something to me physically. And I don't mean for that to sound sensitive, but I grew up with this man, right? He was like Hook, Aladdin, robots, so underrated, right? Robin's wife, Susan Schneider Williams, revealed her husband's last words in an interview with ABC. And when the couple was getting ready for bed the night before, his last words were, "Good night, good night." Yeah, I wanted to end on a nice, peaceful note instead of something horrible from the 1700s. There we go. I've been your host, Taylor McWaters. Those are the top 10 haunting last.
I mean, it wasn't it wasn't too bad. It wasn't nothing like creepy and too shaky. But I mean, it was a cool little video to watch, celebrities' last words and stuff like that. But hopefully you guys like the video, man. And yeah, man, see y'all tomorrow, bro.